This is our editor's note, our first ever editor's note. Woo-woo. And this is because we have an announcement to make, which, Eric, once you're done chewing, you can go ahead and make this announcement. So, drum rolls. I don't know if you can hear the drum rolls.
I guess the announcement is that I'm graduating Hopkins, and so I'm leaving the podcast behind. And that makes episode 6 my last episode. And that's it for me.
And you totally left out the part that our boy, Eric Sean Lynch, is going to Columbia.
Ooh.
Columbia for grad school. Whoop, 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 whoop. Eric, do you want to tell the audience about what you will be doing at the one and only Columbia University for your postgrad?
Yeah, so I'll be starting at Columbia in January. So by the time you're listening to this, I may have already started. I'll be going for a master's in social work. And I will be studying social work. I'll probably be focusing on stuff like substance use disorders, like we talked about in episode 6, issues like homelessness, maybe some stuff like incarceration in there. But yeah, working with people, helping them overcome their challenges, work through whatever's going on in their lives. That'll be the next year and a half of my educational journey.
Yeah, we're so proud of you. Oh my gosh.
Our boy is a man.
We've been holding on to this news for a couple months now, and it's always been a little bit bittersweet because Eric would just sprinkle in, yeah, we're closer to our last meeting date. And I'm like, come on, man. But I can't believe you've been with us since basically the birth of the podcast. And I'm just so grateful that you decided to step in and put your time and energy into this project and give us your insights and just your really support to just push us through. And you've been such a great person to work with. There are times you've made me want to pull my hair out and punch you through a Zoom screen, but all love, because we've produced 6 episodes together, all of which I think are pretty fantastic.
Yeah, well, thank you for asking me to become a part of this podcast. It's been, I don't know, it's been great. It's I had no idea anything about podcasting or audio or even contacting professors and doing interviewing. I've been an editor for the newsletter for 2 years, and I've been writing for 4 years and 3.5. And so I've done interviews, but professors, that's a whole nother thing. So it's been a great experience for me. I've loved it. And I've gotten to shove my own topics of interest down your throat with episode 6. And I don't know, episode 2 was really fun too. So it's been great.
I'm just so glad that your field of interest and your major is so different from ours, because I wonder how different our content would be if all 3 of us were the same major and had the same interests. I'm so glad that you're able to provide some nuanced perspectives and conversations. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I was so worried about that when I was first asked to be on the podcast. I was like, okay, I'll do this for my friend, but what do I know about public health? And what do I care about public health? Especially at the time, I don't know. I didn't know really what I was doing. I was thinking about nonprofit management. I think that was kind of what I wanted to do at the time. So it's what does public health have to do with any of this? What am I going to get up here and talk about diseases and stuff like this? But I've been amazed really at how much overlap there is. And also kind of, I think my interests have ended up veering a bit closer too. But yeah, I love being able to insert my perspective. And I think we all provide nuance, but I like all 3 of our perspectives. They mix really well.
Yeah, it still boggles my mind that we've met consistently at least twice a week for almost a year and a half now.
That's a long time.
And we've really, time does fly, right? We added Peter. We love you, Peter, our social media coordinator, who's doing a great job just helping us film reels and different fun content on social media. We got 300 followers on Instagram. Maybe one day we'll look back and hopefully we'll have a little bit more and we'll be like, wow, we were so excited about 300 followers. And we won a grant. We did one live event. We networked with so many like really incredible faculty at Hopkins who really are distinguished for their fields. And we've had so much fun too filming these episodes. Like, I think one of my favorite memories about this podcast, regardless of where it goes in the future, is going to be how we would spend an hour ranting about anything and everything. And somehow it always ended up becoming some topic episode or just a really great conversation. Like we could have started off like a meeting ranting about, oh my gosh, when we did tier lists of all our favorite fast food places, we spent like an hour creating these, like all those memories. I don't know. It just makes the process so much more fun because it really was more than just us churning out content. And the best part is that we did this all ourselves. Like this is our baby. Isn't that wild that we produced, written, scripted, edited, created, like Rita created the music, the logo, like all of this was self-funded while we were full-time in college and Rena was pursuing her MCAT and pre-med and everything else. And I'm like working and Eric's doing grad school and God, it's crazy.
Oh, man. I think our meetings are very productive, guys. But remember like when we were worrying about how we were going to like turn this into a research project and we were trying to figure out like what cables and devices we needed so that we could record in the same room without feedback and like all these things. And then like, I don't know, now we're here and everything's just like, hey, professor, if you want to come, show up to the Zoom link and then we'll record it. Like, you know, it's like, it's just streamlined at this point. It's amazing how far it's come.
And like, I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know, man. It's just
Tiha's at a loss for words. What does that happen?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just so wild to me that we were able to do this and pull it off. I feel like a lot of people are like, well, Tia, couldn't you have like created more content if you like had more productive and the meetings? And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but like also I'm in college and I want to have fun. And my version of fun was us being idiots for 75% of our planning meetings, productive for 25.
When we started this podcast, you guys hadn't started sophomore year, right?
That's crazy.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It was the
You guys
summer
are
after our freshman
somewhat
year.
technically freshmen. Like,
You know, I think approached you and Rena about this podcast really June of my freshman year. So we're talking June 2020. You know, I feel like the podcast itself started like as a project to cope with grief. I feel like people who've followed us since our beginning know that none of this would have been possible without Stella, who isn't here with us anymore. And, you know, her and I really created this concept of What in the Health and pitching the initial iterations of what it could look like. And so much of this podcast was, you know, when I look back at it now, coping with her loss and finding a way for her to be here with us. So the fact that you guys, both you and Eric, or Eric and Rena, were so willing to be like, yes, we're going to work on this. And we continued to work on it. And we're now about to be hitting January 2022 is absolutely insane to me.
yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Oops. No, I was just going to say, like, I am not the same person that I was when we started. And I don't know if you guys feel similarly, but we've grown so much. And I feel like the conversations and you know, just weird, random, off-topic bullshit that we've done over the past year and a half has been so memorable. And I'll look back at this moment and see how much I've grown. And I really appreciate you, Eric, for being our resident philosopher and counselor sometimes. But
I don't appreciate you farting in my apartment and walking out.
Oh boy.
Rena and I We're distraught. So while I do appreciate your invaluable advice and insight, keep your gas to yourself, please.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Well, I was gonna have a heartfelt message, but now it's like, okay, we're talking about farting.
Okay, sorry.
I was just gonna say, no, when I tell people about the podcast, I usually start off, this was Stella's idea, and Stella and Fatiha's idea, and the opportunity came, after Stella passed away. And I think, you think about what this could have been with her and you, instead of with the three of us. And I'm sure it would have been way better than what we're doing, but
No, I wouldn't say that.
It's, good things come out of bad things. And I think it's really been great to kind of, like we were friends beforehand, but think about how much closer we've all gotten and how much we've all gotten to do together since this kind of came together. And, I think that's just something I'm really grateful for.
Yeah, and it's the end of an era. It's just me and you, Rena.
And Peter.
And Peter, yes, Peter, we love you. You are not forgotten. You are.
I think he'll even listen to this. No, he doesn't. I'm kidding.
Peter is a cherished part of What in the Health, and I don't know. I really hope that What in the Health isn't just limited to however much time Rena and I have left at Hopkins, because I really dreamt of it as it being something lasting and something with considerable amount of impact. And I think we are going to be able to reach that point, but
yeah.
I'll let it manifest out into the universe in however way it can.
I remember this is one of the first things, I don't know why it was, but this was one of the first things I decided to talk to you guys about when we were first meeting in that summer. And I was like, keep in mind, succession, do you want another student to eventually take this over, or do you want to keep going with it? And I think it's been interesting. I think we did our live event with Bill, who has a full-time job and does a podcast for fun on the side, and we do college, which is really a full-time job, and you do the podcast on the side. If it takes off, that'd be amazing. But I hope it's something that you keep doing in some capacity, as life keeps going. But we'll see. It's been a great project already, it's already a success. So whatever comes next is just even more.
Rena, any closing remarks as we conclude this first of many editor's notes?
Yes, it hasn't really kicked in yet. Nothing has kicked in yet for me, not even finals. I just feel like next week we're going to do the same thing and it's going to last for years to come. But wow, this is the last one. I'm really going to miss you. I really enjoyed getting to know you and growing with you as a person. And I know when I'm 30 or 40, I'm going to look back at this and be like, wow, I was a podcaster in college. I just had a great time, and I wish you the best of luck in grad school. And I hope that you get to do all the things that you want. I'm really excited to see where you take it from here.
Yeah. Thank you. I would say it hasn't set in for me either, that I'll be going to a different school for a different program in a few weeks. So
and changing communities,
hopefully, for
the better. And Eric, you're so empathetic and kind and compassionate, and are able to really just see through circumstances and look at people first. And I feel like just that quality will take you really far. And it really helped make our content so much more than just, at least in my opinion, paternalistic, clickbaity, non-engaging content. And I think just your insight and your approach to life really helped create that as a norm for how we do things here at What in the Health. So I'm always grateful for your insight with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you guys too. Thank you guys for everything you guys have done for me, for the podcast. Thanks to everyone listening, everyone who has listened. And I guess, this is a goodbye in some capacity, but, we'll see. Every time, everyone, the listeners, of course, Fatia and Rena will be in touch, but maybe I'll cross paths with some of our listeners too at some point. yeah, thank you everyone. And it's just goodbye for now.
Oh.
What's happening? But yes, everybody, we wanted to share this update over podcast audio. And this concludes our first editor's note. Hopefully, you'll see Eric pop up maybe somewhere at some point. Never say never. But yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.